My daughter is going to be in 7th grade next year, and I am looking at all of this curricula and thinking, how in the world are we going to fit everything in? And so I have started seriously planning out our year for next year. How is it going to work? How are we going to make this work? And so today I want to take you along on my beginning planning process. So the first thing that I really need for this are my teacher's manuals. What are the teacher's manuals for your curriculum, and what do they say you need? So some curricula will be, you need to do this Monday through Thursday for 24 weeks, for 36 weeks, etc. And then others will have you need to do this 45 minutes to an hour a day, 5 days a week to be able to finish it in the one traditional school year. So these are things that you do need to know when you are starting to plan that. And I have already read each one of these, so I know how many days I'm supposed to be utilizing each of these curricula in order to finish them. Now, I do like to finish curriculum. I'm spending money on it. I want to finish it because I am spending that money, and I don't want to pay for something that I'm not going to be using. So my goal is to finish every curricula within the one calendar year. And so our calendar year is normally from August 1st to July 31st. I printed this calendar from Paper Trail Designs. It was a free download. I just Googled July 2023 to June 2024 calendar and it came up. So the first thing that I want to do is to mark off the month of July. We are taking this month off. We need it off. This is the first truly multi-week break that we are going to have in quite a while. And so we're just taking off the entire month of July. I'm also going to mark when my daughter is planning for camps or vacations that I know we're going to have throughout the year. So those are the vacations that I absolutely know will be taking off of doing any kind of coursework. And then I want to put together what I consider to be our field trips or homeschool group days. Testing, my state does require testing, so I include all of these in here because I can count these as days, but it's just not going to go towards when we will be doing the curriculum for the year. Our homeschool group does get together about once a month on months where it is possible to do that. And so I do know that we will be taking about 1 day a month for our homeschool group. Okay. Next is what I consider us to need reduced days. So these are days where we're not going to be able to do our full curriculum, which I'll talk about in just a little bit, but we do have quite a few of what we have to have as reduced days. I discovered this last year that with my daughter's schedule in middle school, these reduced days are something that I do need to plan for because in last year we got to the point where we were extremely behind in getting one of our curriculum finished. And I do like finishing curriculum because if I'm paying for the money for the curriculum, I really want to finish it. So we do a soft start. That worked really well last year. And so we're going to be doing a soft start again for this year. And so that is important. Oh, I forgot a vacation time. So this is a vacation week for us as well. And then we basically have to take the month of September and the month of October as reduced days. This is due to my daughter's sports schedule. And so those are reduced days just with how exhausting sports can be, and then the travel time, those have become reduced days. Also, with regards to sports, I know that these last 3 weeks of June our reduced days as well. So I do want to include these. I'm not quite sure how far into June we'll be going next year. It totally depends on how we're doing. But right now, I'll just plan on going through the end of June. But these last 3 weeks do have to be reduced days because that is when my daughter's sports camps normally start. So let's mark our start and stop days. So we will start with our soft start on July 31st. And right now I'm going to have my stop day as the 28th, and that will adjust through when that time comes based on how we're doing. So with this calendar, what I have here, I have 131 full days, and I have 63 reduced days. So when I'm looking at my curriculum, that really tells me what I have to play with. So for example, if I have a curriculum that I need to do 180 days to complete it, such as our grammar, we're doing easy grammar, that's 180 days. I have 194 days right now that I am planning on doing school. So I have 14 days to play with, maybe 14 days to not do the grammar, and I will still complete that book. But this just gives me a rough idea of what I have, and obviously there will be things that come up. There will be other days that we're not able to do school, but this really is how I can start deciding what I want to do. So for my daughter, sports is what is important, and she has specific days and specific seasons to which those sports take priority. Now that is not for the every day of the entire year, but there are seasons, and I want to respect those seasons. I want to respect that as being something that is important to her, and so I will work to prioritize it during those seasons. And I do think that this is very good for her because it teaches her priorities. There are times when sports can be our priority, and then there are times where school and academics needs to be our priority. But by teaching these priorities, that there can be different priorities for different seasons, I think that will serve her well in the long run. And so what am I going to do this year to be able to show her that these priorities can work together just in different seasons? Well, we're going to have different schedules. So when I look at my days, I really need a different schedule for my full days versus my reduced days, because I have so many of these reduced days that I need to know what I'm going to be doing. So for my full days, our standard lesson plan is going to be on Mondays. We will do math, grammar, literature, history, science, Bible, world geography, Spanish, and then one elective. We have our electives that are going to be on a loop schedule this year. And then for Tuesday, it's basically the same thing, but now we have elective 2. Wednesday, we're switching up so that I have literature on Monday and Tuesday, but then I have writing on Wednesday and Thursday. And then again, you can see that our electives are changing. This elective 1 is the one my daughter is most excited about. And so that's the one that we're going to be doing twice a week when we are on these standard days. So these are the days that don't have any markings on it. Now, when we are on our reduced days, I have a schedule for this because I need to make sure that I don't miss too many of certain subjects. So for example, my math, I need 180 days of math. I need 180 days of science. I need 180 days of history, and I need 180 days of grammar for us to complete those programs. So for my reduced days that I have, I'm going to be utilizing a schedule that looks something like this. So on Monday for those weeks, because as you can see, my reduced schedule is mostly by weeks because this is our high sports seasons. So those are mostly by week. So I can go by week for my reduced schedule. So on Mondays, I will not be doing history or world geography. On Tuesdays, we will not be doing science or an elective. Then on Wednesdays, we're not doing grammar or Spanish. And so I have this reduced lesson plans just to be able to keep me on track with what I need to do to make sure that I do hit the 180 days for the majority of our subjects, because these subjects do require 180 days in order to complete the curriculum. Honestly, I am a little concerned about 7th grade in the time that these different curriculum expect us to focus. And it's a normal progression. It truly is. But when I look at these, math is expecting 45 minutes to an hour. Science is expecting 45 minutes to an hour. History is expecting 45 minutes to an hour. Language arts is expecting 45 minutes to an hour. And so that is 4 hours right there without ever having hit Bible, Spanish, our electives, world geography. And so we're going to have to work on being focused and being flexible. So those are two things that we are definitely going to prioritize this year: focus and flexibility. When we are working on sports, we're going to focus on sports. When we are doing school, we are going to focus on school, and then we are going to be flexible. We're going to give ourselves grace within these areas because we can. Because this is one of the beauties of homeschool, is to being able to be flexible when we need to. Now, we will finish these curricula. That is just the way we are. We will be finishers. We do it. And so if we finish early, if we are able to truly focus, and maybe it doesn't take as long once we get into the different curriculum, then we will stop school the middle of June. We will stop school the beginning of June. But what we normally do is just keep on working until we finish each of the curricula, which is why we went until the end of June this year. We had one curriculum that we had not focused on during that sports season, and it was a learning year for us. But this year we are going to take the lessons from last year and apply them to next year, and hopefully it will work out. But remember, I also talked about flexibility, and I know that we're going to need to be flexible. These middle school years are years for us to learn things before we go into high school, and that is what I'm planning on this year being, is a learning year. And take the lessons from last year, apply them to this year, and if there needs to be more tweaking, then we can tweak them for next year. But each year is a learning year, and middle school has definitely been that. Middle school has been a learning season for us, and so we are going to continue learning, and we are going to continue making our homeschool our own.